So Trump did a CNN town hall, and CNN are now trying to act like they're all like in the middle and that they're not like a totally leftist partisan organization. And there were some great moments from it, but I want to shine a light on one particular exchange. And I believe that Trump in the first half of this exchange doesn't start off so well, isn't as strong, is kind of a bit of a reflection of the last few years for him. But then towards the end, we start to see 2016 Trump poke his head out. It's like the wheels are turning again. Maybe he's starting to find his legs, hit his stride again, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm really looking forward to reading all of your comments. Let's get into the clips.
Get to another voter. Caitlin Boissonneau is a student here at St. Anselm College. She's a Republican. This will be the first election that she has voted in. What's your question for the president, Caitlin?
Hello, President Trump.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
The current administration has made it clear that we should continue to provide military equipment to Ukraine so that they can defend themselves. Do you support this decision, and how would you deal with the increasing threat posed by Vladimir Putin?
First of all, thank you very much. It's really nice. And it's an important question, so important, because we're giving away so much equipment. We don't have ammunition for ourselves right now. We don't have ammunition for ourselves. We're giving away so much. But here's the thing. I have to say it to start off. No longer matters. If I were president, this would have never happened. And even the Democrats admit that. Putin knew it would have never happened. And his pipeline would have never happened. A lot of things would have never happened. But this would never have happened. And all those dead people, both Russian and Ukrainian, they wouldn't be dead today. And all those cities that are blown up and disintegrated right to the ground, that wouldn't have happened. Okay, now, here's the problem. We've given so far $171 billion.
Guys, if you enjoy this sort of content and if you enjoy seeing these ideas get dismantled, then please leave me a like, leave me a comment, love to hear your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. All of these things help me out enormously, and I'm super, super grateful for it. Let's get back to the clips.
They've given, meaning European Union, which is approximately the same size altogether as our economy, they've given about 20. So we're at 170, let's say, and they're at 20. You don't have to know too much about history to realize, or geography, to realize that they're a little bit more affected than we are, okay? So they've got to put up a lot more money because they're taking advantage of us like every other country did. That's why I ended NAFTA and replaced it with the USMCA, Mexico,
But on
Canada.
this issue, Mr. President, I should know, I don't know any Democrats who have said they don't believe Putin would have invaded if you were president.
So first of all, in my observation, what we are seeing here is warmongering, bloodthirsty CNN at their absolute finest. Using their mouthpiece, whom it doesn't matter who it is because they're all the same, to try and stoke tensions. We're going to get more into that. See, this mouthpiece that they call a journalist is what the kids would refer to as an NPC. Somebody who doesn't have a mind of their own, but is rather bought and sold and forced to drink the Kool-Aid. Whatever flavor that Kool-Aid may be. Just look how desperate she is to stoke tensions in this war. And I'll discuss that further. But for now, to Donald Trump's responses. And what I would say here is Trump, let bygones be bygones. It's kind of painful now to be hearing him saying, if I were in office, this wouldn't have happened and this wouldn't have happened. And maybe that's true. And I actually personally think he's probably right about that. But we don't know that. And the people want definitive answers. They don't want couldas and wouldas. They want a path forward in these bizarre times. And I know Trump's a calculated guy and he knows what he's doing. But in my opinion, when I hear this sort of stuff, it just makes him seem a bit petty and unfocused and maybe a little bit flaccid. And that's why a lot of people who supported him are now looking at guys like DeSantis. And in my mind, there are a lot stronger things that he could be saying in responses to such questions. And one of them, and I don't know why he doesn't play this card more because it's an ace, is the fact that he didn't get the USA into any new wars. I know that he was complicit in wars that were already happening, but he didn't start any new ones. And that right there presents a very strong case that he's a very anti-war president. And I would also add that he's a very strong businessman, even though there are a lot of people who say that he wasn't, which is just, that is one of the arguments that blows the mind. He was very successful, and he has a history of getting business deals done and managing high-stress negotiations and negotiations with international interests and multinational corporations. He knows how to go into a room with the big alpha dogs and stand toe-to-toe with them because he is one himself, whether you like it or not. So when it comes to negotiations with guys like Putin and guys like Xi and guys like Kim Jong-un, he is the man for the job. At the moment, they are running rings around sleepy, decrepit Joe Biden. And last thing, what I'd say is get back on Twitter. Don't worry about the Truth Social. No one cares about the Truth Social. You made your point. We get it. But now you're just preaching to the choir. Elon's in charge of Twitter now. You've got your account back. Things have changed since you've gotten banned. It's time to swallow your pride and get back where the conversation is happening. People want to see your hilarious tweets, so stop ostracizing yourself. Now let's watch as Donald Trump gives us a little bit of a taste of that old 2016 flavor.
But her question is, would you continue to give Ukraine money and weapons if you're elected? What's the answer?
I have a very good relationship with President Zelensky because, as you know, he backed me up with the phony impeachment hoax number one when he said the president didn't do anything wrong. So
that was
I
when you
happened to
asked
like.
him for an investigation
So I happened to
in
like.
exchange
Yeah,
for
that's right. And I was totally exonerated, by the way. Just a waste of time and money.
You were impeached over that. You were impeached over that, but let's stay on topic here, Mr. President, because the question is, would you give Ukraine weapons
I was
and funding?
impeached by a crazy woman named Nancy Pelosi.
But the question here is, would you give Ukraine weapons and funding if you were elected?
I would sit down. Let me just put it a nicer way. If I'm president, I will have that war settled in one day, 24 hours.
How would you settle that war in one day?
Because I'll meet with Putin, I'll meet with Zelensky. They both have weaknesses and they both have strengths. And within 24 hours, that war will be settled. It'll be over. It'll be absolutely over.
Do you want Ukraine to win this war?
I don't think in terms of winning and losing. I think in terms of getting it settled so we stop killing all these people and breaking down this country. Now,
can I just follow up on that? You said you don't think in terms of winning and losing. Mr. President, can I just follow up on that because that's a really important statement that you just made there. Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
I want everybody to stop dying. They're dying. Russians and Ukrainians. I want them to stop dying. And I'll have that done. I'll have that done in 24 hours. I'll have it done. You need the power of the presidency to do it.
But you won't say that you want Ukraine to win. You
know what I'll say? I'll say this. I want Europe to put up more money because they're in for 20 billion. We're in for 170, and they should be. And they should equalize. They have plenty of money. They should equalize. I got with NATO. When I sat down, I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars that they weren't paying under Obama and Bush and all of these other presidents. That's why they're able to help them fight the war because of the money I got. But I want Europe.
What's happening in Ukraine,
excuse me.
Mr.
I want Europe to put up more money because they're laughing at us. They think we're a bunch of jerks. We're spending $170 billion for faraway land, and they're right next door to that land, and they're in for 20. I don't think so. When
it comes to what's happening there, when you were in office, you said that you respected President Putin. Do you still respect him today?
He made a tremendous mistake. He was a smart guy, you know. I remember I said he was smart, she was smart. He said President Xi of China, right, is smart. Okay, 1.5 billion people. He's the ruler of 1.5 billion people. I said, yeah, he's a smart guy. How dare he say he's smart? Of course he's smart. They want you to say he's a stupid person. Okay, he's not a stupid person. He's very smart. He's very cunning. And Putin made a bad mistake, in my opinion.
What was his mistake?
His mistake was going in. He would have never gone in if I was president. We used to talk about it there.
Do you believe that he is a war criminal?
What?
Do you believe that Putin is a war criminal? He's responsible for the deaths of thousands of Ukrainian men and women and civilian children.
I think it's something that should not be discussed now. It should be discussed later. Because right now we have to get a war. If you say he's a war criminal, it's going to be a lot tougher to make a deal to get this thing stopped. Because if he's going to be a war criminal where people are going to go and grab him and execute him, he's going to fight a lot harder than he's fighting, you know, under the other circumstance. That's something to be discussed at a later date. Right now, we want to get that war settled. And I'm not talking about the money either. I'm talking about all the lives that are being, the number of people being killed in that war is far greater than you're hearing. When they blow up a city and those buildings come pouring down and then they say 2 people were injured, no, hundreds and thousands of people are being killed. And we have to get that war settled.
Boom. There he is. There's the Big Daddy Don. That's what people want to hear. There is currently a tin can in office. People are struggling to make ends meet. There is rampant inflation. There is crime plaguing the country. Leftist ideologues are having their way with your education system.
Keep getting variants over and over and over until people get vaccinated. I hate Donald Trump. I'm going to say it. I don't care what y'all think. Trump sucks.
Billions of dollars are being shipped off to a useless proxy war, and billions of dollars were left in Afghanistan. People don't care about Ukraine winning. The people want somebody who has the wherewithal to come in, make a few deals, get this thing finished and get a decent outcome. Unfortunately, those people don't work at CNN though. They would much rather stoke tensions and have this war go for as long as possible because it's great for business and it's great for their donors. Why do you think that these big mainstream media outlets have been championing these wars all these years? And what a dumb thing to say. Who do you want to win this war? As if it's like a football game. She clearly wants Trump to fall into the same trap that grifter Joe Biden fell into when he started bad-mouthing global leaders for political points. He did it to the Saudis, and that really backfired on him. He's done it to Putin, he's done it to Xi, and all that's done has pushed those leaders into each other's arms. Trump, though, understands that this is not how business works and this is not how international relations work. You don't want to make enemies and burn bridges, but you don't want to bend over for anyone. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. But anybody who understands how these things have played out over the past few decades will hear the rhetoric from this CNN lady and just bury your face in your hands. Like, do you actually just want war? Is that just what you feed off? I mean, maybe. Like, make no mistake, Putin saw what happened to Gaddafi all those years ago. He saw that the West was responsible for overthrowing his regime. And he saw that Gaddafi met his end by being sodomized by a stick on camera and killed by his own people. Putin would be well aware of this, and you best believe that he's listening to the rhetoric coming out of the West, and he's listening to this town hall. And I think that Trump handled those questions perfectly. He didn't take the warmongering, bloodthirsty bait. And it appears to me that when he says he would find a resolution and find it quickly, he's telling the truth. But here's the point, guys. We're at a stage right now where it appears as though the adults have left the room. The people that know how to handle these situations and know how to handle negotiations and international relations are not going into politics, because why would they? Instead, we have career politicians, and just like mainstream media networks, they are beholden to their donors, which in some cases are the worst people in the world. And it's for that reason that I want to see Trump get back into office in the next election. I think he's the best option, but feel free to change my mind in the comments. And with that, guys, as usual, feel free to join me on Rattlesnake TV Locals page. That link will be in the bio. Same with my Instagram, my Twitter. Hit me up, send me a message, send me an email if you'd like to. And if you guys want to watch another video, click right here. Until next time, I'm Jake. This is Rattlesnake TV, keeping you armed and dangerous.